One of the first things I always get asked about my car is, can it drive itself? And my response is typically, yeah, it can, if you pay for it. That's because full self-driving is hidden behind a paywall. It's a subscription that you have to pay monthly to access this, feature of your car. And a lot of people, when they think about Tesla, they think about, self-driving cars in the future and all this technology, which rightfully so. I mean, these things are awesome. They have that. But I don't think a lot of people realize that in order to get these features, or specifically full self-driving, you got to pay for it. A lot of people who drive, normal or other gas-powered cars, or even other electric cars, probably don't realize that. And I'm sure a lot of people who are about to buy a Tesla don't even realize that you need to pay for full self-driving, which is probably the most appealing feature, when it comes to these cars. So I really just want to take a little bit to talk about, what full self-driving is and what it actually gets you, and whether or not I think it's worth it. So there are two different types of autopilot that you get with your Tesla. The first one is going to be traffic-aware cruise control, and this is the version of autopilot that you get for free base with your car. Practically what it is at the end of the day is cruise control that you're going to use on the highway that's going to slow down and speed up depending on the speed limit where you are. And it's going to slow down when there are cars in front of you that you're quickly coming up on. It's also going to do a good job at keeping you in the lane that you're in. It won't be able to change lanes or go to one that is open. It's going to keep you locked in whatever lane you're currently driving in when you turn it on. And the other version of autopilot you're going to get with your Tesla is full self-driving supervised. This is the version that is behind that monthly subscription, behind that paywall, but what it's going to try to do is make your entire driving experience hands-free. It's going to take care of all the steering, all the accelerating and braking, and try and get you from your starting point to your destination without you interacting with the car whatsoever. There are going to be a couple things I want to point out here with full self-driving. I guess the first ones are, or the main things are going to be those speed profiles. So Tesla has 5 different speed profiles for full self-driving: sloth, chill, standard, hurry, and Mad Max. Basically, that's going to control how aggressive the car is going to be. Sloth is obviously going to be the slowest, and Mad Max is the fastest. You will see a very noticeable difference between the two. Mad Max is going to go well over the speed limit, be very aggressive when it comes to changing lanes, and honestly do everything it can to get you to your destination as fast as possible. Sloth is going to be, as you can imagine, like a sloth. It's going to go slow. It's going to go a little bit under the speed limit, and it will probably not make lane changes unless it needs to. So those are the two different types of autopilot you can get with your Tesla, and I guess the main differences between the two. I have full self-driving mode turned on right now, and practically this car is going to drive me to my destination. I threw a gym in the navigation, and the car is taking me there. We're on a pretty simple city street right now. It's 2 lanes of traffic, and then 2 lanes of traffic going the other way on the other side of the median. But the car is going to recognize the stop signs, all the traffic lights and signals on the road, and abide by those pretty well. Like I said, normally I don't run into too many issues. Every once in a while, it makes a rash decision or is maybe a little bit too aggressive when going on a yellow, but for the most part, it does a good job. We're coming up on a red light, and after that, we're going to be taking a right onto the expressway here. But it's doing a pretty good job coming up to the stop, really smooth. and it's gonna recognize that the light turned green and traffic is starting to flow again. Starting to make that lane change in the middle of the intersection, which is technically a no-no, but everyone does it here just with the way the road's designed. So the car's going to go ahead and merge onto the expressway. Again, I'm not doing a single thing. This is all the car. It's steering by itself, it's accelerating by itself, and it's going to brake by itself if it needs to. And as you can see by the camera, no cars to our left, so it's going to go ahead and merge. And I have the car in standard mode right now, so it's going to be pretty reasonable when it comes to speed and how aggressive it is when it comes to changing lanes. I would say typically standard, you're going to be right around the speed limit. It might go 5 to 10-ish over, but not going to really push it any more than that. If you go into Mad Max, which is the most aggressive mode on full self-driving, it's going to fly around. You're going to go well over, the speed limit, probably like 10, 15 miles per hour over, and it's going to be really aggressive when it comes to changing lanes and getting you to your destination pretty much as fast as possible. I wouldn't really say it makes any reckless maneuvers, but it's definitely cut a couple of cars off, at least in my experience. And I don't know if you were able to tell, but just now the speed limit went from 70 miles per hour to 55. Old versions of full self-driving, when you saw that decrease in the speed limit, the car would slam on the brakes to adjust itself. Not really something that happens anymore. The car's going to do a good job with staying at the speed the flow of traffic is driving at, and honestly make it a pretty smooth deceleration. I mean, as you can see, we're going about 62 miles per hour now. We were going about 70 before we hit the 55 mile per hour speed limit, but it does a really good job at making that correction and making it, a smooth one too. Do want to point out there that turning left out of the intersection there, the car did a really good job at not just following the white car, I think Genesis in front of us. Technically, that Genesis pulled into the incorrect lane and should be in front of us still on the outside one. I'm not sure exactly how Tesla's software is programmed. I'm pretty sure even if I tried to understand, I wouldn't be able to. It's probably some pretty advanced stuff, but I've noticed that the car does try and follow, other cars on the road. I think, to, I guess, blend in with traffic and mimic traffic as well as it can. But it does a good job of putting itself in the correct spots, especially when the people in front of it aren't exactly doing the correct thing all the time. But yeah, I mean, I haven't touched the steering wheel once. I haven't pressed the gas or pressed the brake once, and it's really smooth. I've had this car for about 1.5 years now, and I've noticed pretty gradual increases or improvements from update to update. The software gets smoother. It seems to make better decisions. It's more decisive. I mean, every once in a while, there's a little bug where maybe it overreacts to, a pile of leaves in the road, but the Tesla engineers seem to get that ironed out pretty quickly. And it's funny because, one of the things you hear about with people and electric cars is motion sickness because of the regenerative braking that Teslas have. I think sometimes full self-driving is a little bit smoother with those decelerations and braking than I am driving the car myself. It does a really good job at progressively applying the brakes and making those stops as smooth as possible. I've actually had a couple friends in this car who, have gotten motion sick in electric cars before, and it's not really something that they've complained about when I've had full self-driving turned on. All right, so we're pulling up to our destination. It's going to be coming up on the right here, and we're going to see how it does with parking the car. Pretty recently, Tesla rolled out an update where you can have your car basically park itself at your destination. Right now I have it set to parking lot. So it should find a open space in the slot. It is rush hour at the gym, so it's going to be probably pretty tough, but it should find something and take care of parking itself. So we'll see how it does. I think it's going to try and snag one of these spots behind me here. Yep. All right, I think that's it. It's not stopping, but it did a pretty good job parking itself between the lines. I got plenty of room for my right and my left here. So overall, great trip. All right, so I got the base version of Autopilot turned on right now. It's just the adaptive cruise control. And this is what it's going to do. It's going to keep you in whatever lane you're stationed in, and speed up or slow down based on the traffic in front of you and around you. It won't be able to change lanes. It won't be able to merge on the highway or merge off of the highway for you. It's going to keep you locked in whatever lane you're at and keep you at a certain speed depending on traffic. So it does a good job for highway driving, but obviously it demands more intervention from you as a driver than what full self-driving would. So do I think full self-driving is worth it? And my answer to that is yes and no. Sorry, I can't give you a straight answer, but it really depends on your situation. Speaking from my personal experience, I drive a lot for work, and my commute to work when I'm in an office setting is about 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back every single day. So for me, I absolutely love full self-driving. It makes my commute easy, and when I am on the road for work, it takes that stress of driving off my plate. So if you're someone who drives a lot or deals with rush hour traffic, I would absolutely recommend full self-driving for that $99 a month price tag. And honestly, if you're not, there are certain situations, especially with this being a subscription-based service, where I think it might be worth it. If you're going on a road trip one weekend, let's say it's July and you're driving from, I don't know, Chicago to Nashville for a weekend, away from home. If you have the ability to upgrade to full self-driving for that 1 month, I honestly think spending $99 to have your car take care of that transportation from Chicago to Nashville, or wherever you're going, that's just my example, it's worth it. I mean, anyone who has been on a lengthy road trip, it's pretty exhausting, especially if you're the one driving that entire distance. Full self-driving, the car is not going to get tired. It's going to always be aware, and honestly, it's probably safer than a drowsy person behind the wheel because they've been driving for 8 hours straight. So there are absolutely certain situations where I think full self-driving would be worth it, even if it is only for a weekend or two. If you're someone who doesn't drive a ton, or you have a very short commute to work, it might not be the most, it might not make the most sense for you. It's really going to depend on how you drive and how often you're in your car. If you're in your car a lot, I would 100% recommend getting this feature.